Hi, this is Preetika Rao, and today I have with me Padma Shri Anuradha Paudwal ji, a singer who is a legend and who ruled the 90s with her mellifluous voice and mesmerizing music, and also won 4 Filmfare Awards and 1 National Award for a Marathi song. So, without wasting any time, let me introduce to you Anuradha ji.
Namaste.
Welcome.
Thank you, Preetika. Thank you.
I have known you since almost a decade now, and you have a very beautiful and a strong spiritual side to you, which a lot of people don't know about. So I want to tap into that spiritual side because it's very, very interesting and intriguing, and speak about your experiences with Maa Kali. A little bit for the audience here. So Anuradha ji has a duplex in Mumbai. She has the entire first floor and a second floor which has a large room that's a temple actually. It's dedicated to Maa Kali. And it also has Shaligram in it. So it's a very powerful space. There are a lot of stories I have heard over the years from Anuradha ji about Maa Kali, which I want to ask her all over again on my channel. So my first question to you is, how did Maa Kali enter your life, and when did you realize that she was actually there, like you could feel her presence?
This would go back to 1983, and I had a daughter by the name of Chandana, and she was a premature baby, and she was very ill, and she passed away due to pneumonia. And when she was just one month, less than a month also, and I went into very deep depression. And when I happened to go for one of my recordings, I used to be very, very sad. So there I met Dakhina Babu, who was a great devotee of Dakshineshwar Kali. And he said कि अनु ये तुमने क्या अपना हाल बना रखा है, तो तुम कभी कलकत्ता गई हो? सो ऐसे दादा मैं तो हमेशा जाती हूँ. तो ही सेड कि इस बार जाओ तो माँ काली के मंदिर में जाओ. ऐसे मैं हमेशा जाती हूँ. तो ही सेड कौन से वाले में जाते हो? सो आई टोल्ड हिम दैट आई गो टू काली घाट. ही सेड नहीं, काली घाट जाओ, लेकिन इस बार जब आप जाओ और तो वहाँ पे दक्षिणेश्वर नाम का एक मंदिर है, जहाँ पे रामकृष्ण परमहंस जी ने सेवा की थी. एंड वहाँ कुछ मत कहो माँ को सिर्फ इतना कहो कि अब मैं तुम्हारे पास आ गई हूँ, यू नो. एंड that was the time that I happened to go there. I had gone there for a program with, it was a Lakshmikant parallel program. And I went to the temple, and that was the first time that I got a vision of Maa Kali. And after that, I don't know, there was a strange bonding, which I call it strange because before that, nobody from my mother's side or either my even husband's side, nobody had actually connected or was a worshipper of Maa Kali. So I found it very strange that it was a very strange but an instant bonding. And then after that, I came to rely upon her, surrendered to her, and then of course I can say that after that there were hundreds of times that she has made sure that I feel her presence. There are so many of them. So a lot of people happen to see Kali as a very fierce goddess. Yes, of course she's fierce, but she's fierce as in, I would say, protecting her loved ones.
Okay.
Yes, I see her fierceness, that Rudra Roop is when she has to protect her loved ones. But when it comes to answering prayers, I think she's the most lovable and the quickest to respond, and तुरंत उनकी कृपा हो जाती है. But you need to have total surrender. You can't act clever with her.
Okay.
So yes, that is one thing that is particularly what I have seen in the case of Maa Kali.
So you always told me that the idol of Maa Kali that you have in your temple, it's Parvati Swarup Kali, and she's not Bhadra Kali.
Yes, Kali is basically Parvati, and if you have seen this Devogadev Mahadev, it is basically Parvati who takes the roop of Kali for a particular reason.
Okay.
You know, and the one that I have in my house, she's the Adi Shakti. Yes, but in the form of Kali. The Adi Shakti is the same. Is the way you worship her. Like some people worship her in a tantric way. The same Kali is worshipped with a bhakti marga, like how Ram Krishna Paramahansa did. And I think that is where you have devotion and where there is simplicity and a lot of love. I think that is the best way of reaching God.
Wow. I remember where your building is right now, there used to be a very old bungalow. And many years back, when that bungalow existed and your building was still not there, I remember sitting in my car and looking at that bungalow for a long time. It was very mysterious. And you also told me that the temple that was opposite, the Gayatri Mandir that was opposite that bungalow, is where you visited once, and you almost heard Maa Kali tell you that you will have a residence opposite the Gayatri Mandir.
Well, I was staying in Santa Cruz and I wanted to shift, back to Khar for the longest time. And I had a vision and I saw a place and I heard Mata's voice and she said ki she showed me the place which is exactly in front of the Gayatri temple, and she said wahan par bhi mera ek ghar hai, and then I went there. Of course there was Gayatri Mandir and there was this bungalow that you're talking about, but for the longest time there was this bungalow and I could not see any building being constructed or being built there. So that went on and I was wondering which building she had referred to, and then I said probably it's just one of those dreams, because a vision is not a vision till it materializes.
Right.
So I went to the Gayatri temple and I was in front of Mata and Ma Gayatri and I said, this is the vision that you have showed me, but I don't see any place over here. So I will wait only just, for 24 hours. If I find or if somebody comes and tells me that there is some place some building being built here, then I will buy it right away. Otherwise, then I would like to move to Juhu side. And before I completed my, my prayers, already there was a person standing in the Gayatri Mandir behind me. He just said ki, Anuradha, there's a building coming up here and would you like to buy it? I was shocked because it was not 24 hours, it was not even 24 minutes, I would say 24 seconds.
Wow.
So immediately I said, yes, I would like to do that. And that's how we shifted in that place.
So then you did the sthapana of Kali Ma,
yes,
right? So a lot of people don't know that when you do like a sthapana of a murti, even in a temple, there is this entire very tantric and a very powerful process of pran pratishtha that is done on an idol, where you have these mantras and a lot of these rituals which actually bring a life force into the idol. And a lot of people think that, oh, it's just an idol in the temple, but that's true for the idols that you have in your altar at home. That is not a pran pratishtha murti or an idol, but the ones that are at the Indian temples are definitely more powerful because they have this entire tantric, you can call it a tantra ritual of getting the life force or doing the pran pratishtha. After which, what happens is the idol actually becomes alive, it comes alive. and then you're supposed to actually do seva to it, offer food and water, and if you don't do it, then you have to face the consequences. So there's one story you had told me about how when you went out of town, your man Friday at home forgot to give her the offering and forgot to give her the food. And then what happened is what I want you to share with my
Firstly, let me tell you that when Gulshanji, he knew how how close I am to Maa Kali and Dakshineshwar. Because I've been very fortunate. I end up going there at least once a month. So that went on, and then he said, because he was into setting up a lot of temples and बहुत सारी मूर्तियाँ he used to to donate murtis in the temples.
Okay.
So he said, since you're so attached to Maa Kali, do you want me to make one murti exactly like Maa Kali? And I was very happy because I thought it would be something that small.
Okay.
But when we shifted to the house, and I saw that there were 2 lifts, and from one lift we went up, like Arunji and me, and from this other lift there was a box, and when we opened the box we saw it was a life-size Maa Kali, and I was not prepared for that. Absolutely not prepared. But then she had come. I mean, there was nothing that I could do about it. So what I did is, we did not do a regular the Pran Pratishtha, what you're talking about.
Okay.
Because again, she had told me in a vision कि I am alive, so don't do Pran Pratishtha.
Okay.
And so don't get into rituals.
Okay.
Yes, let me be like a family member. And but having said that, there were so many people giving their views, and there's so much written in the scriptures कि नहीं घर में इतनी बड़ी मूर्ति नहीं रखनी चाहिए, ये नहीं करना चाहिए, वो नहीं करना चाहिए. So I said, it's better मेरे घर में मैं इतनी बड़ी मूर्ति रखूँ, उससे better है कि I made the entire house that floor in the name of Maa Kali.
Okay.
And registered it like a temple. And I said, it's better for me to stay in the temple than keep such a big murti in my house, because then I'm her child and she looks after me, rather than getting into all the nitty-gritties and technical aspects. ये ऐसा ही होना चाहिए, वैसा ही होना चाहिए. And it's very true that probably when you are out of the house, people working for you, they tend to think कि क्या फर्क पड़ता है, so they may have not shown the prasad. Because generally in my house, whatever is cooked, anything that is cooked or anything that we get from outside, पहले उसका भोग चढ़ता है. And they may not have shown the prasad. So one day she just came in my dream and she said, you please tell your people, they don't give me food to eat. They don't give me food to eat. Please tell them I'm very hungry, and that I'm alive. So I asked them, I said कि आप लोग भोग नहीं लगाते? तो say नहीं लगाते हैं. I said नहीं लगाते. So please don't do that. Even if it's a simple curd rice or dal chawal also, it's okay. But you have to show that, because she's very, very much alive. But I think, when you're very, very attached to a deity, or it may be Kali, it may be Krishna, or it may be Shiva, or when you become one with them, these things happen, and you start communicating, or other, I would say, like these visions, you call it Drishtant, or these vibes or intuitions, whatever. I'm sure that happens.
Is there any other experience you remember, any story?
Oh, hundreds of them.
I would love to hear one, like you telling my audience about.
Like there was this instance where years back, I had gone to this gold jeweler in Matunga, and I saw the beautiful chains there, and I wanted to buy them, but somehow, I said ki no. I was passing through a difficult time at that time. So I said no, once all this clears, maybe I'll get 3 chains, and 1 chain will be for Ma in Dakshineshwar. And then after a few months, very soon, I happened to buy those 3 chains, and then it's always been my practice to go and I go and put it at her feet, and then I use it. And then this thing just slipped out of my mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there was a pujari there, and there were 2 ladies sitting in the Garbhagriha, and the pujari said, Anuradha, give me 1 chain. So before I could say anything, I was wondering why the pujari is asking me. And 2 ladies said, how can you ask her for chains? She has 2 children. And so he said, I'm a third babu. I'm her 3rd child. And strangely, that is what, I feel, that is the feeling I have for Maa Kali, the one at my place. And but this is not something that I have discussed with anybody. I always feel that she's my 3rd child. I don't know why. So when all the conversation was going on, I didn't know what to say. And then he didn't say anything. He gave me back the 3 chains, and I was just wondering what had just happened. And then I went and I sat outside the Garbhagriha. All these things, all these experiences that I'm talking about is particularly about Dakshineshwar.
Okay.
Because I think, there are certain places, probably it relates to your past births, or I don't know, but there are temples everywhere, but there are certain places where you connect instantly. So there was this lady who used to keep coming to the temple. She used to go around the temple, and slightly less intelligent, I would say.
Okay.
Differently abled. And she came and she sat right next to me. And this relation that I said, that I always feel that Maa Kali, like, she's my daughter, and I feel if she's the mother of the whole world, then who's a mother to her? So when I go to Vaishno Devi, I always pray for my children and Maa Kali. Take care of my children and Maa Kali. I don't know why, but it just comes. And then she started saying, Mago, means Oma, Mago, amake to chain din in Bengali. So please give me a chain. I was wondering, why that day, the whole world was after that 1 chain. So first I didn't listen to her, pay attention. Then again she said, Mago, amake to chain din. So I said, look, I'm not your ma, okay? Your ma is inside. So she looked into my eyes and she said, she is the mother of the whole world. But for me, you are my mother.
Oh. Okay.
Yes, And I was in tears, and I didn't know what to do. And then, I was a little dazed, and I took the chains, just put them in my purse, and then I came and I was to catch an immediate flight back home. So the moment I sat in the flight and shut my eyes, I just saw Dakshineshwar right in front of my eyes, immediately. And she said, you forgot to give me my chain.
Oh, okay.
So probably it was Ma sitting right next to me, and because she was talking in a language which only I speak to Ma, not in front of people. If I have said, for you, I'm your mother, you may be a mother to the whole world. And that's what she was trying to tell me, that she's the mother for the whole world, but for me, you are my mother. So sometimes you have these experiences, so many of them, and we like to think of ourselves as being very educated and very smart, and not vehemi. But it's not like that. Sometimes the universe, in many ways, the universe tries to connect to you, and you need to have a little bit of faith in yourself, because we are so used to hearing something, some confirmation from another human being, that we doubt the universe. But we don't trust the universe, we trust human beings.
Yeah. And they also doubt the existence of entities like that, like Kali, or the devas and the devis.
See, basically Kali or whoever, it's how you see them.
Right.
It's how you see them. They reciprocate.
Right.
That is one experience that I really, really have in my, entire life. That they reciprocate the way you see them. And
Right.
how you want to look at them, how much you want to love them. So this is something like a lot of people ask me why I turned to devotional music when I was at the peak.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. So this again is something to do with Dakshineshwar.
Okay.
That after Hero, I actually never had the ambition of becoming a playback singer and in films and all that, because I don't come from that background. But everything was destiny. But once I had tasted success in Hero, then little bit. I mean, being a human being, you expect you will get some better offers or something similar.
Yeah.
So nothing of that sort happened, and I had approached a company, Music India, and I said I would like to record some bhajan. So they said कि नहीं आपका भजन का वगैरह market नहीं है, तो you record some geet. I said geet is neither a love song or a film song or neither a bhajan. So it's some I was not very fond of geet. And ghazals was never my genre. So, and then after that, I was seriously contemplating, that probably, I've had enough of the film industry, so I will leave it. And at that time, I happened to go to Dakshineshwar. And the same pujari, his name was Haruda. So he said, Anuradha, ek to माँ को गान सुनाइए, माँ का गान गाइए. And I realized it was 12 years that I had been in this industry and I had not sung a single bhajan or any single verse dedicated to Mata. The one who had given me the voice, and so many songs, and not a single. And I was shocked and I was so remorseful. I said, Ma, I'm so sorry. How come, that ek bhi bhajan maine, I don't even know a single bhajan which I can sing in front of you. So I said, please bless me today that my voice and my face, वो जितने मंदिर है उन सभी मंदिरों के साथ मेरा चेहरा और मेरा गला जोड़ दो.
क्या बात है.
हाँ. And I said, but one more request I have, कि I'm not very particularly fond of film industry or something like that because of the background that I came from. But I said, I don't want to leave the industry, कि नहीं काम नहीं मिला वगैरह, that kind. So I said, I would like to leave the industry. मुझे number 1 पे लेके जाओ and then I'll leave the industry myself. And then I will do all your bhajans. And then after that, Ashiki, Dil Ke Mante, all that happened.
Wow.
And one after the other, there were almost about 10-12 films जहाँ पे 10 गाने and all 10 songs were hit.
Yes,
and
super hit.
Literally, I mean, that was one position. It was a dream position anybody can. But at the back of my mind, it was always there, Yes, I asked her, she gave me. Okay,
Wow.
now I should, dedicate myself, devote myself to devotionals. And again, I heard that voice in my dream. Okay, from such and such a date, such and such a time, तुम्हारे हाथ से बहुत बड़ा कार्य शुरू होगा. And I didn't know what karya she was talking about. It was just a voice. And it was the 22nd and दोपहर को 2 बजे से. Which month? She didn't tell me.
Okay.
I woke up in the morning and then I saw I got this vision in October. And I saw कि November 22nd when I was in Hyderabad for somebody's marriage. Very often I have this habit कि नहीं ऐसे ही आया होगा, But I met Shekhar Sen in Ujjain after that. And then I was getting into the room and they had just checked out of the room.
Okay.
So they said कि दीदी हम आपके कुछ गीत और गज़ल करना चाहते हैं. मैं दादा वो तो करेंगे, but I want to do something, which is devoted to Mata Rani, Devi ka. So he said, what? Bhajan? Or I said, I don't know. What is her stuti, which is the most dearest to her heart. ऐसा क्या है? He said कि वो तो दुर्गा सप्तशती है. I said, what is that? Imagine, I'd never even heard of that. So they said Durga Saptashati is Mata ka matlab, it's the closest, it's Mata herself, the Saptashati.
Right.
But it's very big. I said, Dada, ek cassette mein aaye, itna kariye aap. But I want to do that. He said, okay, we'll meet in Bombay. And then I told him, and then he said, Didi, par पूरा इंडस्ट्री इज शट डाउन बिकॉज देयर इज अ स्ट्राइक गोइंग ऑन. लेकिन एक ही स्टूडियो है विच इज ओपन फॉर क्लीनिंग. इट्स ऑन द 22nd of December at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh my God.
I said, please book it. And that is where I recorded the Durga Saptashati. And one day prior to the recording, means I had not decided, that I will give it to some studio or something, but I had that in mind कि नहीं, मुझे उनकी स्तुति गानी है. I have to record something for her. One day prior to the recording, I was called as a chief guest in T-Series for the inauguration of Ajit Kadkade's Dattache Bhajan.
अच्छा.
So Babuji was there, Gulshan ji's father. He said, हमारे लिए भी कुछ आप गाइए. से ठीक है, मैं गाऊंगी, लेकिन मैं अभी कल कर रही हूँ सप्तशती, तो आप चाहें तो आप ले सकते हैं. तो इसे नहीं, वो हमारे पास बहुत है.
अच्छा.
हमारे पास सप्तशती वगैरह बहुत है, दुर्गा स्तुति. सो ऐसे बाबूजी ये अलग है. आई डोंट नो व्हाई आई सेड दैट, बट आई सेड नहीं, वो अलग है, ये अलग है. सो मैं कोई बात नहीं, मैं देखता हूँ. एंड इरिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ एवरीथिंग, वी जस्ट स्टार्टेड द रिकॉर्डिंग. आई रिकॉर्डेड द फर्स्ट श्लोक ऑफ Durga Saptashati, which is the Kavach.
Okay.
And उस वक्त रिकॉर्डिंग के वक्त वो बंद कर देते हैं दरवाज़ा वगैरह. सो वी जस्ट ओपनड इट एंड द मैन वाज स्टैंडिंग विद द मनी इन हिज बैग कि बाबूजी ने भेजा है कि ये प्रोजेक्ट लेना है. दैट इज़ हाउ आई एंटर्ड T-Series.
Okay.
Through Durga Saptashati. And then of course Durga Saptashati, I mean, it is something phenomenal.
I know, I've heard it. Such powerful rendition.
Yes, very, very powerful, very powerful.
And with her blessings, आज तक गंगा आरती आपके आवाज में होती है.
जी.
It's like I visited Ganga Ji 12 years back, and the Maha Aarti at the Ganges happens in your voice with Jai Maa Gange.
Such a blessing that is, yes.
Right. And even till date, when I went to Rishikesh, the Ganga Aarti was happening in your voice. So
Yes.
You're a blessed soul. This
I
is
will say God has been very kind.
Yes, and your voice is going to be eternal for Ganga Aarti. Also at the Vaishno Devi Mandir, जो भी Vaishno Devi Mandir ऊपर चढ़ाई में जाते हैं, it's only your bhajans that are ringing in their ears. So आपकी जो wish थी, like whatever you wished for, it came true. So with so many amazing experiences, one more beautiful experience with Maa Kali.
Well, I mean, let me first tell you all that these experiences are very, very personal. But some of you all may also feel that they're a little weird. But these are my experiences. These are my personal experiences. So all I'm trying to say is, even the gods, we keep on hearing about our saints like Tukaram and Jnaneshwar, and how Pandurang used to come to their help, or he used to be there. Like, you must have heard the story of Tukaram, and when he was doing his kirtan, and Shivaji Maharaj came to hear the kirtan, and Aurangzeb came to know that he's there. So his entire army came to capture him. And then when Tukaram Maharaj came to know of this, he said कि मेरी राज आपके हाथ में है. If Shivaji Maharaj gets captivated, in your temple, that is the Pandurang of Pandharpur. So, तुम्हारी इज्जत निकल जाएगी. तो please, take care of this. And when the army came, जितने भी लोग थे, तो they started seeing Shivaji in each person. इतने शिवाजी उनको दिखे. So they just did not know who was the real Shivaji, and this is a fact. And if you see a film on Tukaram, or it's in his scriptures also, so how it happened, it's very much there. So having experienced this personally so many times, I believe it 100%. It's just sometimes immediately you don't believe, you need to have a number of experiences for you to till the time that you stop calling it a coincidence, and it's very, very clear like the sun.
Right.
So when the Kali ji ki murti, when she came home, and then these people working for me, they used to go to their hometown, and they used to say हम एक महीने में आ जाएंगे, and then they used to settle down there, and then they अभी ठीक है हम 3-4 महीने के बाद जाएंगे, and she used to go to in their dreams. That's what they told me, कि हमारे सपने में आ जाती है कि उठो और come back to work.
Wow.
So till the time they wouldn't buy the ticket, तो ये होता था. So they used to keep 2-3 of my staff told me कि नहीं, I said what happened, you were supposed to come on such and such, and माता सपने में आई, and she said get up and
Pack your bags.
yes, pack your bag,
Wow.
come back again. So I used to say, Ma, people, all my staff, they see you in their dreams, and even I would like to see you in my dream. So one day I was sleeping, and I just saw her. She was just there, that much, and she bent her face near my ears, and I could feel her breath, and she said, 24 घंटे तुम्हारी आंखों के सामने होती हूँ. Why do you want me to come in your dreams? I was so scared. I just quickly shut my eyes, and then I realized that she is so very much there, and I understood when she said, don't get into rituals. Don't get into rituals. कि ये प्राण प्रतिष्ठा करो, ये करो, वो करो. I am there. Because when you get into the tantra part of it, when you get into the ritualistic things, then everything. Then you have to do everything right.
Technically.
If you worship her technically, then it has to be 100%.
Okay.
Safest is to be just call her a mother or your child. I don't know anything, and then that I feel that's the safest, but total surrender. So there are so many times that I have experienced her, Similarly, I have had so many experiences with Siddhivinayak.
Okay.
Yes. Like generally, I don't miss Angarika. And it was years back when Kavita, my daughter, she had settled down. Not settled, she was in US for 5 years. And there was a time that the mobile phones had just started. So our phone here never used to work there.
Okay. Yeah.
That instrument, it never used to work there.
Right. Yeah.
So I think the first year of the mobile phone technology coming. And then she told me, Kavita said, Mummy, since you've come, please stay on for 2-3 days. So I couldn't say no to her, but then, I kept on thinking, I'm going to miss Angarika. Because it was after 2-3, I had planned my visit that way. And then we were sleeping in the morning. I get a phone call early morning in my mobile phone. And he said, Namaskar, Siddhivinayak on the bolto hai. And you remember, na, today is Angarika. I said, ho. And before I could say anything, I said, how did he call me from India?
From India, yeah.
Phone ही नहीं चलता है. चलता ही नहीं phone.
Wow.
But he said, I'm calling from the temple, and I hope you remember today's Angarika.
Oh my God.
So I'm sure, I'm just sharing these experiences because so many people out there, you may be having similar incidents,
Yeah.
which you just need a confirmation from someone. So I want to tell you, yes, every bit of it is true. And don't try to convince anyone. If you have these experiences, just keep them to yourself or share it with people who believe, and be happy that the universe connects to you.
Very true. In fact, my grandmother, she would also see, she's seen Lakshmi Ma.
They are very real. And one more thing I would like to tell you, Preetika, is the universe is very real. Real means it has emotions.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not
Life
पेड़
is.
है, ये पत्थर है या mountains है, and they don't have emotions. No. They have emotions, and they have their particular way of conveying their happiness. And this is what I experienced when about 4 years back, when we through my NGO, the Suryodaya Foundation, we adopted 10 villages in Nanded for water conservation.
Okay.
And I had gone there for a program, and those people said, "Kitai, we don't have water here to drink, and people have to travel about 5 kilometers just to get water for drinking."
Okay.
So there were a couple of people there with me. So I said, "Kirada, please let us start work here." And we started from Mahur, the Matri Tirtha. The moment we started excavating, immediately there were natural springs there. Absolutely clean water, natural spring water, and everywhere in the entire Kund. And within days, the entire Kund was full of clean, drinkable water. Okay.
Wow.
And then we did a lot of work there, and we dug trenches, and we took the trenches to different fields. And because of after the rainfall, there was a lot of greenery there, plenty of greenery there, and the entire place had changed, And then just 4 days before Navratri, a person called me from there and they said, "Tai, शेतामध्ये 4 वाघ आलेत." I said, "What are you talking? Which शेत?" He said, "जहाँ पे आप लोगों ने काम किया था." So right below the temple, which is a Shakti Peeth, Mahur.
Acha.
So किसी के खेत में there were 4 tigers, and there is no tiger sanctuary there.
Acha. Okay.
They had come from Tadoba, which is 350 kilometers away.
Wow.
So smelling the water, they had come all the way for the water. So I see this is I feel universe's way of expressing its joy for people who do it selflessly.
Yeah.
Because I was not doing it for my sake, or there was no selfish motive there, especially at a time when we are importing tigers in our country. Those 4 tigers to come on their own, it was like a big shabashi from the universe, and it was very touching, very, very touching.
So it was like a sign that universe gave you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What else can you tag it?
Right. What is your organization called?
It's called Suryodaya Foundation.
Suryodaya Foundation. I'll put up the name and the numbers. If anybody wants to donate, y'all are please welcome, because a lot of good work happens here. So I would love that. I have to also bring in your life. Maa Kali has been a part of your spiritual journey, but you've also had a very tough life. You've had a very hard life. As a lady who's independent, who's working, and you've achieved so much. I mean, here people are thinking of retiring in their 40s, and here at your age you're doing live shows, and even Asha Bhosle, for that matter, at 90 she's doing live shows. So that's the spirit your generation carries. It's an undying spirit that we all have to learn from, and I really want people to learn from you, because you have gone through so much of hardship in life. At the age of 37, you lost your husband. I think your career had just picked up that time.
Yes.
And, life gave you such a big blow. It must have been so tough for you. And was Maa Kali that time a part of your life when...
Absolutely. I feel, looking back, I feel, that probably, everybody's life is very different. Each one selects his life, and like कहीं पे मैंने सुना था कि some of us we select, कि नहीं जो भी लेन देन है ना तो इसी जन्म में करा के खत्म करो, so it's not like bit by bit. So it was not easy at all, not at all easy. And so probably this is the life that I had selected before I came to this world. And probably Kali came in my life at the right time, when she had to make sure that I don't crumble.
Right.
Yes, because without her stoic presence, everything that I went through would not have been possible. And every time that I encountered a very, very, what can I call, a very
Huge blow in your life.
huge blow in my life, she made sure that I come out of that situation in a shortest possible time and start doing something for the society.
Okay.
And she motivated me towards that. Recently, we have donated an entire floor to the HIV children in Latur.
Wow. Okay.
Then we've started a campaign for the hearing impaired children.
Right.
And the hearing aids are so expensive, people can't afford. Half of the people don't even know, when they are born with that defect, they think itna hi sound aata hai. So very recently we had, on the 9th of May, we had this camp where we did the screening in normal schools, of municipal schools, not the deaf and dumb. But there were 175 children there who were hearing impaired.
Okay.
So we did the screening and we donated hearing aids to them.
Very commendable.
Yeah. So over the years, now, like I've gotten into this habit, or it's become a part of my life, to keep doing something for people in need.
Yeah.
And there's so much to be done, really.
Yeah, that's so true.
But if there is that very, very strong force, which has made sure that I go on in life, complete what I've come here for, I think it's Maa Kali.
Wow. I always say that people wonder why we born, why we taken birth, but they don't realize that you've actually born to serve others. And when you start serving people, you meet the purpose of your life. Even when you're going through your tough phase and your hard phase, when you bring that smile onto other people's lives and faces, you bring more meaning to your life, and you bring more happiness, and you attract that happiness into your life. And I think you've wonderfully done that.
One more thing I feel, Preetika, is, there are sometimes you face so many things in your life. It's really horrible. But every such incident tries to teach you something that you've come to learn.
Right.
And it keeps on happening till the time that you do not understand or do not accept it.
Right.
Like, I feel that this life of mine is only about learning non-attachment. Very often now, I have seen ki, when there's something that comes to you, maybe now, since you will be able to relate, like somebody comes to you, Preetika ji, there's a wonderful film, और उसके लिए एक role है आपके लिए, and they get you in that groove. Like in my case, maybe a song or something like that.
Right.
And then, when we start getting attached to that bhavna, the person just disappears. And you wonder what happened,
Right.
But at that time I realized, that is life telling me, why are you again getting into that? उस चक्कर में क्यों आ रहे वापस?
Also, I think there's sometimes you wonder, why did this not happen? But when you look back, you realize I probably didn't want to do that, and thank God it didn't happen.
Yes, that also happens. And the moment, ये भी मैंने देखा है कि the moment you stop giving it importance, ना, मतलब जितना देना चाहिए उससे ज़्यादा importance,
Yeah.
emotional people tend to give more importance to that.
Right.
The moment you stop giving it that much importance, no, अपने आप ही वो आ जाता है आपके पास.
But sometimes life can be very tough. Like, even you lost your son recently.
And that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell you, that what I came to learn in this life had to happen. It's like doing a PhD when you're deep into the valley. That, it just dawns on you that it was all about non-attachment.
You deserve so much more than, I think. I mean, in terms of just people knowing this side of yours, which I hope I could bring out through this interview.
I hope even if one person benefits from this interview, I think it was well worth the effort.
It definitely was. Thank you so much once again for the beautiful experiences of Kali and for giving us so much of strength from, your experiences. And I hope the youngsters and the youth out there who, are fighting depression or are thinking, why we born and what we're doing, there's so much of life lessons to learn. And also to learn from the fact that, even when life keeps pushing you down, you still have to resurface, with strength and, bring out your true purpose of this lifetime. Thank you, Anuradha ji.
Thank you so much. And needless to say, you're doing a fantastic job. And it's really heartening to know, that your age, your generation also, in generation, it's very rare to find people who have interest towards spirituality. You're doing a great job. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Means a lot. And with that note, lots of love and keep watching other videos and put your comments here for Anuradha ji. And I would love to read it. She would love to read it. Bye. Lots of love.